Thank you. This is a talk that I haven't actually finished writing yet, and so this is like my trial run. So please bear with me. Thank you. I get hurt feelings easily. So my name is Jamie Hampton, and now that we're all friends, one thing that you need to know about me is that I love Star Wars a lot. And Star Wars is about good and evil, which is a really cool thing to think about, I think. And I work in the tech industry, and I think it's an important thing to think about. So I always thought, like, people talk about ethical development. And I always thought, okay, yeah, fine. Like, I'm not going to do anything unethical because I'm a good person, so no worries there. But lately I've been thinking about it more. And there was like a tweet storm that I read a few months ago by Kate Crawford that I don't have because I don't have slides. That was basically like, talking about how we have to think about what we're going to do and draw a line in the sand of what we're willing to do before we get asked. I'm American, and especially in the current political climate, I think that, we can't get around this. There's a lot of whispering about, like, well, what would you do if your company asked you to, like, build the National Registry for Muslims? And I think it's really easy to be like, well, I wouldn't do that. And I wouldn't. But, there's more than just that. And this is where I'm going to talk about Star Wars. Star Wars is about good and evil. And sometimes good and evil seems very black and white. Not a lot of room for a gray area. And when I think about Star Wars, I think about that. Like, here's the good guys. Here's the bad guys. But, like, actually what Star Wars is really about is about good guys that accidentally become bad guys. A lot of the characters in Star Wars are like that. Anakin Skywalker becomes Darth Vader. Count Dooku was originally a Jedi. Kylo Ren. All people who are originally good guys and then succumb to the power of the dark side. But it's more than just, like, you decide to be a Jedi and then you're a Jedi forever, you're good. Like, it's about temptation, and all of the good characters are also struggling against this temptation to succumb to the dark side. Like, Luke Skywalker, Obi-Wan, even Master Yoda talks about, like, his temptations to the dark side. Pretty much everyone, actually. So that's, like, a really ongoing theme. And this all kind of came crashing down to me when I saw Rogue One. So, has anyone seen Rogue One? Hopefully I'm not gonna, like, spoil it. I mean, they get the Death Star plans at the end, so that's a spoiler. But I was really excited about Rogue One as someone who likes Star Wars, and I saw the trailer, and I was like, look at this diverse group of people. There's all these people of color. They're like minorities, and they're fighting against the Empire. Like, yes, 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 my people. And I was like, I'm gonna go see it, and I'm gonna be one of those people. I'm gonna be one of these rebels, and it's gonna be so great. And then I went to see it, and there were like a bunch of Empire engineer guys wearing white, and I was like, oh no, I'm one of those people. And it really got to me. In fact, I'm a real big nerd about Star Wars, so I read the book Catalyst, which is the sequel to Rogue One. And it's all about Galen Erso, who's the main engineer on the Death Star, and how he became involved in that project. And he was like a pacifist, and he didn't want to work for the government because he didn't trust them. And his good friend from college, Director Krennic, the bad guy with the cape from the commercial, and you can tell he's bad because he's wearing a white cape, spent years kind of grooming him into this role. There's a moment where Galen's mentor is working for this project, and she's like, they made this project, the Empire cares about, ethical energy, and that's what we've been doing, and now they've given us all these resources, and we're looking to energy, like, why wouldn't you want to work for this project? And I'm reading this, like, yeah, that sounds really good, that sounds really good. And I'm like, no, I literally know how this ends. Like, that's the Death Star project, they just don't know it yet, but I know it. And I'm like, oh, now I'm working on the Death Star project, crap, the worst. And so you have to think about, like, other ways that technology is going to be used. Like, you could say, okay, this is a project where they're going to do facial recognition to, like, find protesters in a crowd so they can, like, arrest them. And you could say, like, no, I'm not going to do that. That's unethical. And that's great. But then what if you're, like, doing, like, video game work where you're doing, like, facial recognition for, like, an AR game? Like, that's the same technology. So if you're really have, like, if it's important to you to not do that, there's other projects that you also can't take because that technology could fall into different hands. And I think that is, like, something that I didn't think about. That's important to think about. And that's what I learned from Star Wars.